Saan naman itong ato ang okay, I'll create again a new problem or a new program. So we'll show you here the use of the OR operator. So for example, lahi na ni siyang iyang logic ha. Dili na ni siya pareha ka ganina. So total value or item sold is greater than 3 and total value is 1,000. Then the employee will receive 100 bonus. Else the bonus, no bonus for you. So if the employee has sold greater than 3 or ang iyahang total value sold is 1,000, greater than 1,000, so that employee will receive 100 bonus. Okay? Example, the item sold is, say the item sold is 4 and the total value is 500. So what is the output?
No bonus. No bonus.
Hmm?
No bonus.
No bonus.
No bonus.
This is OR.
Ay.
Receive 100 bonus lang.
Yes. Okay. Diri siya. Received 100 bonus. Okay, true manghapon siya diri.
Ano item sold ma'am?
Okay, greater than 3. 4, the item sold is greater than 3. Though false ning isa, pero true man ang isa, 'di ba? Sa OR operator, pag naisa nga true na na siya. Okay. Okay, since this is true, the first condition is true, the second condition is false. All in all, this is true. So, receive siya og 100 bonus. What if this is 2,500? Unsa ang output?
True gyapon.
True gihapon siya. Okay. Both conditions are true. Okay, that means this condition is true. Receive 100 bonus. What if this is 1?
True gyapon.
True gihapon siya. So, kung ang employee, isa lang ang iyang nabaligya, pero dako man pud ang value ato iyang nabaligya, 2,005 greater than 1,000 man. So, maka-receive gihapon siya og 100 bonus. Okay? So, what if isa lang iyang nabaligya, tapos, or duha iyang nabaligya, and then 500 ang worth value.
No bonus.
No bonus.
Okay, no bonus. Wala siya. Wala niya na met ang criteria na item sold is 3, greater than 3, and or total value is greater than 1,000. So, no bonus. I'm going to, again, share this code. So that's our example for the use of the OR operator. Okay, next is, I think we can proceed na to our next topic. I'm going to show you here Another, I'll show you an example. So this is not included in your kuana in your module. Kato akong gihatag ng mga example sa group chat. And kaning next na ko nga example. So this is if we're gonna accept input from the user. Okay? So we will be using the scanner class that is used to get user input, and that's in the Java util package. So there are mga methods that we can use in our class, okay? But we need to first acknowledge the package that's where it is written. So, okay, ato na ipakita unsa na siya. So this is how we're gonna import the scanner class. Okay, import java.util scanner. So actually, scanner is it's like a program ba that is written by other programmers, and now we can use them without writing the code. So we can just use the programs of the other programmers para magamit na to siya diri sa ato ang code. So this is the scanner class. Okay, so we have here um, the import to Java util.scanner. So, every time na magamit ta sa scanner, we'll have to import it using this line, import java.util.scanner. And then in our main method, we used here now the scanner object. So, we create scanner space my object equals new scanner system.in. So you just have to declare this. Okay, if we want to accept a value from the user, diba? The program usually will have basic components such as input, output, process. So sa atoa, para maka-accept ng input sa ato ang program in Java, we'll be using the scanner. This one, the scanner is in the variable my object here. And then we have a statement, enter username. So this will be our prompt to our program for our user to enter their username. Then we'll have the string username equals my object that next line. So that means whatever is entered in the screen, in the program, that will be the value of username. And then next to that is we print username is and then username. So if we try to execute this,
Lolo. Hindi.
so let's execute again. Okay. If you're using the JDoodle, you need to check this interactive checkbox or option. It's this, and it must be turned on interactive. Let me execute again. So this is the prompt here. Kini siyang output first. Okay? Enter username. And then, ang user ninyo, mag-enter siya sa iyahang username. For example, my username is Aiza Romano. Or usually, ang username is one word only. So, mo ni siya ang ako ang username nga gi-enter. So, this will be the value of username. Because of this statement, ang pasabot ani kung unsa ang gi-enter sa user, sa iyang gi-type diri mao ang value ni username. Okay? So, since ako ang gi-type diri is Aiza Romano, that will also be the value of username. So, later, pag-enter anak ko ani, ang output ani will be username is Aiza Romano. Okay? So, after na ko pag-enter, pag-type, pag-enter ana, there should be username is Aiza Romano. Ano man ni siya? Nga naa man ni siya 4. So, naiwit ra na siya og execute. You have question? Sige, maminaw pa tanawa sa ninyo ni or i-practice ninyo for 5 minutes. Okay? 5 minutes, i-type ninyo dito, i-type ninyo, i-try ninyo ni siya, and then try to write any value for the username. Okay? 5 minutes.
si Nicolay. Duraktor talo. Ano ni Paul? Siya, dyan ikasulod. Sa kadool. Ay. Ano? Ano ni? Balik ang papag. Ano? Balik papaghan. Silay na ni ano silingit silay. Silingit ang sunod. Buang silingit man eh. Ay silay di kay. Silay silingit. Okay? Gusto na ni mo. Tama na. Wala lagi ni mo itong gilagin itong kulinti. Ha? Ito tulo. Wala rin gilagin. Ako? Hindi. Paul. Itong paulin. Paulin set. Paulin ang gitawag. Paulin na. Paulin skit man to. Nalagin to ni mo Miss Doge. Ha? Nalagin to ni mo Miss Doge. Namin nagbukaan na. Wala, oy! Mga pinagpito para ito sa pilin. Pilin? Palin? Yang? Uy! Mo! Bato. Loha. Ulo na light. Ha? Ulo? Dili man dara. Ay si Godzilla. Kuling man tong la dinosaur. Kuling man tong sling man ni. Kuling man tong ikan tali na boy. Okay. Dali na may gamit sa kulingki. Gilagin. Ilang outside. Wala, pati kason. Kalaro kita jud ka ni Kul na bukas na. Ini, gusto nagpuyo. Itubo pa nun. Maingay ka kung Kalinga, ba dito ito, ano? Oh, bukan ng isa, oh, kanang nakatuwad yun. Wait, kanisin bagay dahil sa lunin. Ay, sana, ringit. Ano kaya?
So were you able to test our example, guys?
Kaya naman yung pet naman. Sa tungang urot yung pin.
Okay. So I think you're done. Are you done?
Ma'am.
Wala pa?
Wala pa po, ma'am.
Wala
Oh.
pa po, ma'am. Nag-type pa lang.
Ay, ako din yung i-copy paste.
Yeah, tara. Yay! Ay, fight sila. Why? Bukada na, Juki! Randy, I'm the angel! Abo, boom! Napinis nila! Tabla, no? Tabla. Yoo! Pinili! Ay, katulog na, Chuki, kay gabi na! Rumba na, Chuki. Ay, Mai! Oh, no! Ayo! Nay, para sa Chuki, kanang puntahan na siya para... Oh, no. Pepe, sabi na, Pepe, na gusto na buntag. What? My hungry. Oh, no. Speed by speed. Speed. Baka speed. No.
Are you done?
Wala pa, ma'am.
Wala pa?
Anong galit up?
Nag-error lagi siya.
Back time! Back time! Back! Minit na ko pero. Ano mo kasi minit ko? Yeah. Paligo man may kutino. Abe, kami! Ay, kanang yellow ko daw! Nyat, ganyan lang yellow. Kanang yellow what ba? Kay, mas nanima ko na niya ito karakter. Amo nila yung bulbul. La 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 la. Kita na daw espada Chuki kay gusto ko na no. Dalawa. Sakit kay na no. Ay ato sa villager sakit kay. No, no. Ay lubak na. Ay ato sa kay villager. Ato sa villager Chuki. Patient, prepare. What is something to do what? Adik lagi masulot. Wala pa.
Nana.
So let's proceed to our next example.
Nana. Nag-sing.
Kumaya ni Nicole. Kumaya ni.
Hindi pa saan tayo?
Lagi tem.
So here, we'll accept the name, age, and salary.
Kaya taglihi ko pera 5 pesos.
So again, you may not try this now and focus on my shared screen so we can have at least try to focus on this one first in our example.
Operation? Ako din.
So observe as I am typing here our example. Kindly observe what I'm typing. This is our next example. Again, this is getting input from our users or getting input from the users of a program.
Means.
Okay, our next example is here. So we want to accept the name, the age, and the salary. That means your user will have to enter their name, age, and salary. Padali lang.
Nagkano siya?
Madamay ako balay.
Hindi na nagpila.
Okay, so again, we want to accept the name, the age, and the salary from the user. And then here, of course, we want to create a variable that will hold the name. Okay? So, naatay tulo ka values diri, name, age, and salary. So, kinahanglan, naapod tay tulo ka variables para sa name. So, ang variable sa name dapat string. Sa age, dapat integer. Sa salary, dapat double. So, we have here name, string name equals to the next line or my object that next line. Meaning, katong input sa user. Kung unsay input niya sa name, mo to ang value ni name. Next, we have int age. Okay? Then, ang age, kwaon gihapon nato sa input sa scanner. Nato nga si my object. Dot next int. So, this time, kay integer naman siya, next int na ang gamiton. Kaganina, next line. Okay? Remember that if the value is string, ang gamito ninyo is next line. Pag integer na siya, next int. Pag double, next double. Pag float, next float. And so on. Okay? Tapos, ang kaning letters, first letter sa data type, capital letter na siya. Okay? Okay? Double, salary, may object, next double. And then, after that, we output the name from the value of name. Then we output the age string plus the value of age. Then we output the salary string plus the value of salary. So let me run this one. We check interactive and then execute. So it will ask to enter our name. So let's enter Aiza. That will be my name. Enter. Then my age is 32. Then salary, say 5,000. Enter. So after that, it will have to output now. Ang output na is kaninang diri sa kining tulo. Name, age, and salary. So, iyan na ning i-output. Name, age, and salary. So, diba, mauni ang ato ang gi-input. So, maupod na siya ang values sa mga variables. Because we assigned the values from the scanner class, my object. Okay? Question. So, if you have no question, I will give you our first programming challenge this time.
Wala.
Okay, so what you're gonna do is, you will have to accept the length. Okay. I will show you na lang another example para na amoy guide. I will send this example in our group chat again. Let me find our group chat. Where is it? I will show you again another example. So last time you had the task, you had a problem in your task to compute the area. I think the area of a ito siya.
Area of circle.
Oh, area of the circle. But the radius adtong inyong problem is just
Karon kay serious.
gi-assign ninyo, 'di ba? So
Yes, ma'am.
so you have their int radius, example 10. So you have their double area equals radius times radius times 3.1416.
3.14.
Okay, or 14 na lang. Okay, and then we print the area. The area is okay. So this was your problem before. Now, what if the problem will ask you to um, to get the value of the radius from the user. Okay? So you'll have to use the scanner. Instead of using this one, dili na siya ingon ana. Okay? Magamit na mo atong scanner. So mag-import na mo java.util.scanner, and then we'll have to declare the scanner class my object equals new scanner system.in.
Sponge!
Okay, and then we'll have to
Throw sponge!
kinsa man ning misulod sa Google Meet na ay misulod si Renda.
Sendax.
System.out.print. So you need to prompt the user to enter the radius. Kani siya ang radius will be coming from the user na. So i-enter niya ang radius na siya. And then you'll have to accept the radius. So int radius equals my object that sa gamiton diri next int, next line, next long, next double.
Okay.
Ay, biling-biling kong balay.
Then,
Next int.
Next in.
Okay.
big letter.
So, mo na ni siya. Ang value sa radius, dili na siya katong value nga ibutang. Ana. Gikan na siya sa user. Okay? Or i-type na siya. I-type sa program ang value sa radius. Okay? So, let's run again.
Sana.
So, enter the radius. So, assuming that the radius is 1, then the area is 1 times 1 times 3.14. So, this is the value. Okay? So, muna siyang example. Okay, let's begin na our first programming challenge. I will post the problem. Okay, I will post the problem in our chat box in Google Meet.
To instill shock and distrust, I'll file your removal papers myself, and you'll have to deal with the consequences. Trust me. Yes, sir.
Dutag tingnan guys.
So you're gonna accept the length and the width of a rectangle, and then you print the area of the rectangle using the formula length times width. Okay, accept the length and width of a rectangle, and then print the area of the rectangle using the formula length times width.
Tungod sa lubot na akong gilabay.
Ano ba?
Dilo po dito. What? Hey, wait na to. Pamita, wala yung suka. Wala ko sa ala dito. Wala ala dito. Kino. Kino. Kino.
Wala pag-release. Load lang. Wag na ah. Spider-Man. Hmm.
Balak ka. Ang kamay. Ito. Wala lang. Isa din kung gigigatik mo ah. Ulit mo. Ha? Wala na, sukod ako. Nicole. Ha? Nicole. Wala. Patay si Shenshen na murek! Wala lang, apal sa my birthday. Ang birthday ko lang! Ano yun ako? Sabay ko na. Paano ko? Si Tenson! Pari ko siya, pari ko. Oo, hindi na. Nasukosi. Nasukosi si Corin sa imo ni Kundo. Nicole, wala rin mo kayo lag up. Birthday ko rin. Wala kong hindi. Magpalo ka, magpabakal. Wala lag up. Nagkatap dyan. Ayun, talaga namin oy. Ayun. Dinig ko na itong ilalay na. Siwa man, dito na lag up ni Alina. Pabuhat ah. Kainungod may Jasper. Ha? Kung ni Jasper. Ano naman? Para ni Lina. Dino publish si Jasper. Atong tawag na ako ni Kuya kay mga ako na daw ni. Dino pa nakap si Jasper. Jasper mo na siya ako. Nagtuwa na lang ako. Man, tumakot na yun. Palaban na niya. Man, tumakot na yun. Surya. Hindi ba niya ako? Kulim. Daan ka mo. Kulo ka pa birthday na, prahuman na. Wala na, dun sa birthday ko na. Uy, lithium ka. Sabi ka, Nicole. Awang pagtanahan ko ni Nicole. Tanahan. Wala ka na. Wala ka na.
Si Hank.
Sean! Wala, baliktad na Sean! Aman to, binubuo na sa ubos. Tulog ni Alina. Ha? Saan sa ubos? Amang nila ito, okay? Ay, wala na kalagpaw sa kulay. Paano nga dito? Yung ano kay kwarta, pangtagak. Pwede yung marakalungan ba? Pwede yung marakalungan.
Ano yun?
Sina, ang malit suki. Bukan kay kumain ko to. Ay, wako kay kawong. Wako lagi kaayo ang balik mo. Daghan pa yung kaayo. Wako kay balik mo. Daghan pa yung sabot ka ba? Ayun. Kalimutan siya. Wako Wapo lang ko all yung hindi ito makakuha sa cellphone mo. Ka? Makalingkod. Makalingkod ba?
Usa?
Makalingkod magkanensyan. Dire, makalingkod magalit ka. Kamay ka pa kaya dili. Kaya, dili ka malikod. Kung di ka makalingkod, makalingkod ka. Dahil kung tama ka, ay kung tama ka rin kung saan, obey mo ito. Sakit mo na ulo. Mag-apot tayo sa nilas. Tawad lang sa ulo.
Ano?
Yayay, yayay. Yayay. Murag bata si... Kabala ko mo. Murag sa lumuruto. Kabala ko pagpo. Black. Ay, murag. Mag-jacket ko, pagkamal, magbukulang ko po ang liya diri isa ko, mag-jacket ko, pagkamal, mag-jacket sa pasok ko. Sobrang wala kayo, no? Ako, dili. Ako, maghapon ko. Lumaya ka, birthday. Balik, bukutan. Wala. Ano ba? Tapos na pagkain na.
Okay, naana tayo winner. Si Crystal got the correct,
Karami sa cancer.
got the first correct answer. How about the others? Are you still writing your codes?
Wala na, ma'am.
Wala na?
Nalibog.
Ha?
Code pa, ma'am.
Wala naman kay Ines.
Libog, ma'am. Libog.
Libog pa.
Dali, naman kayo, ma'am.
Ah,
Basta mulit.
Pwede pinasimulit din.
Ada, hindi mo ulit, oy.
Pero malit, maglaban mo mga Southern malit. Ilum kayo ba? Murag ng G.
okay, so let's proceed to our next topic na. So you can still try to answer. Anyway, naana ang answer dito gisend na ni Crystal. Kagahapon, ang una naka-send is sa correct
Okay,
answer is si
Lysander.
si Jenny Lou. I think it was Jenny Lou.
Congrats.
So let's have the next one. Let me share first my screen.
sa balon, nagbantay ka basta.
So next topic na to is about Java while loop. So loops are executed. It executes a block of code as long as a specified condition is reached. And loops are handy because they save time, reduce errors, and they make code more readable. So if there are codes that we need to repeat in our programming code, then we'll have to use the what we call the loops. Okay, and there are different loops that we can use. We have first the while loop. So the while loop loops through a block of code as long as a specified condition is true. So the syntax of the while loop is you have the while and the next is the condition, then open curly brace, and then you have the code block to be executed, and then it has to end with a closing curly brace. So in this syntax, again, there is a condition that you need to specify, and that condition must be met, must be true in order for the loop to execute. This is what we call the loop statements. Okay? So, kung unsang gibutang nato na code diri magbalik-balik na siya. Okay? Ibalik-balik niya og execute. As long as the condition is true. Okay? In the example below, the code in the loop will run over and over again as long as a variable I is less than 5. Example, int I equals 0 while I is less than 5. System print I plus plus. Here, we have initialized the value of I, and then we print the value of I, and then we update here the value of I. Plus plus means that we add 1 to I. Okay, so we will try this in this website, by the way, is W3 Schools, and we can as well run our programs here. But kung it will take time for you to open this, pwede ra gyapon ninyo dito ibutang sa kuan ha, sa katong IDE ninyo. So dili lang nako iparan kay para dali lang siya. Dili na ko magsigi og kuan change screen. So I have here the sample program, class main, and then you have here the I is 0. Now this is the condition. If I is greater or is less than 5, okay, rather I is less than 5, then it will print the value of I. So initially you'll have 0 here. Okay? So, iyahang giprint ang 0. Okay? Because 0 is less than 5. Okay? This is true. So, iyang iprint ang 0. So, muna sa output, giprint niya ang 0. Sunod, gi-update niya ang I. So, this is 0 plus 1. So, I becomes 1, and then, balik na po na siya kay basta loop mo balik siya diri sa condition. Ni guman niya diri mo balik na po siya og basa sa condition. So, ang I karon nahimo na siya 1. 0 to kaganina, karon it becomes 1. So, 1 is less than 5. That is true. So, since this is true, i-print niya ang value ni I, which is 1. So, i-print na po niya ang 1. Sunod, nag-add na po siya og 1 kang I. So, I becomes 2. So, balik na po siya diri kay loop man ni siya, so mobalik na siya, balik-balik. Iterative, repetitive. So, it will go back here in the condition. The value of I is now 2. Okay? 2 is less than 5. That is true. So, i-print niya ang 2. So you now have this output. And then, nag-add na po siya og 1 kang I. So, 2 plus 1, so I becomes 3. So, 3 is less than 5. That is true. So, iyang i-print ang 3. So, you have there 3. Next, 3 plus 1, 4. 4 is less than 5. True. Print 4. So, gi-print na po niya ang 4. And then, you'll have 4 is less than 4 plus 1 it becomes 5 here. So, balik na po siya diri. 5 is less than 5. So, that is false. So, pag ma-false na ang condition, dili na niya, mag-stop na ni siya. Dili na niya i-execute. So, that's the end. Ang 5, dili na niya i-print. Kutob lang siya sa 4. So, ang output is 0 to 4. Na siya. That's the while loop. Next, we have the do-while loop. By the way, do not forget to increase the variable used in the condition. Otherwise, the loop will never end. So, example, diri nagyud tay update sa condition nato nga I. Okay, the variable I in our condition. So, dapat maga-change jud siya. So, from 0, nahimo siya 1, 2, 3, and 4 because we added 1. So, what if we want to print only 0, 2, and 4? Unsa ang update diri So, it should be I is equals to I plus 2. So, ang ihang i-add is 0. Ang first niyang value is 0. Sunod, mag-add siya og 2, mahimong 2. Sunod, mag-add siya og 2, mahimong 4. So, let's run. Let's see. So, you have 0, 2, and 4 in this case. Next, if we want to, let's say, if we want to, ano yun? Add, let's say, add 3. Uy. The update is 3. So, ang change po niya is increased. Ang change sa I is it's increased by 3. I need to change this one. Kasi naman ito. Okay, so you have here change of 3. So 0 plus 3, okay, plus 3 is 6. So ang 6, dili na niya i-print because it's not less than 5. Okay, so that's our while. And let's say, for example, nakalimutan ninyo ang change sa inyong variable I. So, unsay mahitabo, 0 lang siya perminti. Dili siya mag-change. That's the time that your while, your condition will always be true. So, maghang na inyong program. Mag-error na siya. Okay? Actually, kung sa tinuod ni siya nga program, magsigira na siyang print og 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, all zeros. Because 0 man ang value ni I and it will not change kay gitanggal man ninyo diri ang update. Okay? So, dapat na kay update sa I. It depends on the problem. Again, kung unsang applicable na update ang inyong gamiton. As well as sa condition, pati pod sa initial value. And diri apod. Depende po na siya sa problem. Okay, let's go to our next loop, which is do while. So, mura po ni siya og while, pero lahi iyang structure. So the do while loop is a variant of the while loop. This loop execute the code block once before checking if the condition is true. Then it will repeat the loop as long as the condition is true. So ang kalahian lang niya is nasa ulahi ang condition. So meaning i-execute sa niya ang code before siya mag-test sa condition. So it will always execute at least once. Even if the condition is false. Okay? So, the example below uses a do-while loop, and the loop will always be executed at least once, even if the condition is false, because the code block is executed before the condition is tested. So, dili pareha ni while loop, no? Pag false gani na siya at first, tahay 6 ni siya, ang value ni I. Pag false na gani na at first pa lang nabasa, dili na gyud na niya i-execute ang body sa loop. Pero pag do while, kay nauna man ang do before ang condition, it can execute still first the body of the loop. So mo ni siya iyahang structure. Mauna ang iyahang statements, body, maiwit ang condition. And this time, naanay semicolon ang while. Ang kaganina, walay semicolon. Okay? Ang while. Pag do while, naanay semicolon siya. And mauna ang condition here. Mauna ang body before the condition. So here, you have the I is equals to 0. And giprint niya ang 0. And then, nag-add og 1. So, I becomes 1 less than 5. So, that is true. So, i-print niya ang 1. 1 becomes 2. So, 2 is less than 5. I-print niya ang 2. 2 plus 1, 3. 3 is less than 5. True. I-print niya ang 3. 3 plus 1, 4. 4 is less than 5. I-print niya ang 4. 4 plus 1 is 5. 5 is less than 5. False. Stop na ang loop. Okay? So, kutob lang siya sa 4. 0 to 4. Now, what if false ang first condition? Kaganina, balik ta sa while. Diri sa while, what if false ang condition? So, wala gyud na siya i-print. Okay, false man ni. Excuse me first.
Kaya kita lungag ko da.
Na ulit ang tingog. Ay, tineris si Kevin as
Kanat magagting ang baliad go. Kanta baliad.
Going
Huh?
back. Okay. So, we have here again. So, wala siya output, di ba? Pag false na ang first read niya sa condition, false na siya. So, wala gid siya i-execute. Diri. Kay giuna man niya basa ang condition. Pero sa do while, balik ta sa do while, false himuon nato ni og 6. So, 'di ba pagbasa niya sa condition is false, pero mauna man niya ni execute. So, let's see unsa iyang output. So, i-print gyud niya first. No? So, ma-print sa niya. Kay nauna man niya execute ang statement. So, diri gi-print niya ang 6. Kay wala pa man niya nabasa ang condition. Nauna man siya og print or execute. And then, nag-add siya diri 7 na. 7 less than 5, false na. So, dili na siya mobalik. Di na siya mag-loop because the condition is false. So, mo ni siya nga ang giingon nato nga sa do while at least once mag-print or mag-execute gyud ang body of statement even if the condition is false. So, let's have another example in while. The while. Let me share another screen. Stop presenting and then let's share again our JDoodle or compiler. So, let's have another example. Dapat daghan tag example sa kining looping. So, let's create mo ba niya siya akong gi-share? So, let's have the first. Can you see the compiler now? So, let's have here int count equals to 1. Can you see what I'm typing? My share screen?
Wala pa, ma'am.
Wala di ay.
Okay na pa, ma'am.
Okay.
Na ma'am.
While count is less than or equal to 5. Open curly brace. Then system.out print ln number. This is a string number space plus count. And then of course our update is count plus plus. So kaganina in our example is int atong gigamit, no, there is a condition. This time we'll have the count. Now what we are doing here is we'll just repeatedly print the number plus the value of count. Okay, let's execute. Starts with number 1. Sunod. Okay? Kanino? Number. Isa lang siya ka print method, pero daghan siya na print. That's one of the purpose of the loop because it can execute repeatedly this statement. So, we print the number plus the value of count. First, it is 1. Sunod, nag-add siya og 1. Number 2. Sunod, nag-add siya og 3. Nag-add siya og 1, becomes 3. Number 3, nag-add siya og 1, it becomes 4. Then, number 4. Then, nag-add siya og 1, it becomes 5. And 5 is less than or equal to 5. So, it will print number 5. So, you have there number 1 to number 5. Do you have question?
No, ma'am.
Okay, let's proceed to our new example. This time, we'll have to use the scanner class. So here we are trying to accept a valid input from the user, and if the user's input is invalid, we'll have to repeat accepting again for a valid input. We will see later the output of this one. What I'm trying to do here is we write the program using the while loop to repeatedly accept and test the input of the user. And if the input is correct or is already valid, then we will have to try to test the input using the condition if option type is equals to 1, and then we'll have a string variable for the chosen language. If the option of the user is 1, then the chosen language is Java. Otherwise, the chosen language is C++. So C++ is another programming language which is basically the same or Java, but a little different. Then after that, we'll print the output, which is programming language chosen is, and then space concatenate with chosen lang, or the variable chosen language. Okay. And we can actually do some things here. So Kinesia basically is where we're showing you how to write the while loop to test the input of the user. So let's check this interactive, and then we'll execute our program and see whether there's error here. So let's try to change here. Let's add a new line here, and then a colon to separate the input. Let's stop this one and execute again after editing. So we have here our prompt. Which programming language do you prefer? Enter 1 for Java or 2 for C++. What if there's a user na bulayog, mag-enter siya og misgaon sa lang. Okay? So na error. The input string. Okay. This is an example of our debugging. So we'll try to see where is the error here. It's, I think, the input. It's the input. It should be I think I entered there a plus sign or a space. So here we entered 125. So 125 is not our preferred, is not in our instruction in the program. We want the user to enter only 1 or 2. So this is invalid. So we give a message invalid entry. Again, you must choose 1 or 2. We repeat, enter 1 for Java or 2 for C++. We again accept another input. So let's assume that the user enters 3. So again, that is an invalid entry. You must choose 1 or 2. Enter 1 for Java or 2 for C++. So let's enter 2. So it should display programming language chosen is C++. Okay? Because here we have an option here. If the option type is 2, then the programming language is C++. We can also modify our output here because I think it's not yet organized like this. In this case, there is no colon here. In the space. Right before the user input 3 and 2, we can add here a colon and a space. And we can also separate our invalid message. Where is the invalid message? Here. We can add before that, we can print a new line. We can print a new line para dili kayo siyang matapad ang kini siya, para dito siya sa next line. So we have a new line, and then we can also have a design, for example. And then invalid, that's our message, invalid. And then also here we can move this to the next line. Murag-tapad kayo siya diri, ang pangit kayo siya tanawon. So we can add a new line here before the programming language chosen, a new line, and then some design. So enter 1 for Java or 2 for C++ is 6. So that is invalid entry. So naa na siya new line diri o. Okay? And then our like a separator. Then invalid entry, you must choose 1 or 2 here. There's a colon already and a space. So let's enter 3. That should be invalid again. Invalid entry, you must choose 1 or 2. So let's enter 1. So there is new line here. I think we forgot a new line. Dere o, ln. Okay. So programming language chosen is Java. So you can just add here in ln para mag next line to ang programming. Programming language chosen is Java. Question? Before we proceed to our next example. So before I forget, I'm going to share this to our group chat. Next, let's proceed to our... Do you have questions, guys? Questions? Please raise it in our chat box. Now going to proceed to our to our next example. So let's have here, assuming that we'll have data and sum equals to 0, or can separate this basin malibog mo equals to 0. Then we'll have a do here. We are showing here a do while example. And then let's have an output statement. Enter an int value. A new line, and then the program exits if the value is 0. Then let's have data equals, or yeah, data is equals to let's create the scanner, import java.util the scanner, and then declare our scanner here. Scanner my object equals new scanner system.in. So data is from the user, so my object dot next int. Next is we'll have sum plus equals data, or I will comment here sum equals sum plus data. So this two statements are the same. Then we'll have the while, and our condition is data is not equal to 0, then the semicolon. Next is we have our output statement. The output is the sum, so we print system.out.println, and the sum is space, then the plus the value of the variable sum, end. So let's try to create again a new separator para organized ang inyong program, ang output. Let's copy this one. Mo na ni siya diri nga part ang output. Ang output ninyo. Diri is input. And then process or calculation of the sum. So what we do here is we have the scanner, my object, and we have the data. The data is integer, mo ni siya ang i-enter sa inyong user nga number. Pagkahuman, we also have the sum. It should have an initial value of 0. And then we want to accept the integer value. And it will exit if the value is 0. And then we'll have whatever is the value entered by the user. Kung tayo mag-enter siya og 10, iha nang i-add sa sum. Then pagbalik niya, mag-enter na pud siya og 5, iha nang i-add sa 10 sa sum. Okay? And then pag-enter na pud siya og let's say 20, so i-add na niya sa sum. Diri So it will become 20 plus kaganina nga 15 or 10 and 5. So iha na siyang i-add sa sum. Pag-enter na pud niya diri 0 na, so mo exit na siya. Okay? Kay false naman siya diri. Pag 0 is not equal to 0, so this is false, then it will not anymore repeat the block of code. Diri na siya. I-print na niya ang sum. So let's run and execute. Try to, let's see if there's an error there. Again, there's an error in our spelling in the system. Execute again. So there's the enter an int value. The program exits if the value is 0. Okay, so let's enter 10. So 10 here will be the value of data. Tapos si 10, ihang i-add kang sum. So butang nato diri ha. Temporary lang ni. So 10 una. That will be the value of sum. Okay, 10 plus 0, 0 man ang value ni sum. So equals 10. Okay? So enter na to na siya. Because 10 or the data is not equal to 0, this is true, balik na pud siya diri So the value, let's enter again. This is another input. So let's enter 5. So the data now is 5. So 5 is added to sum. Kaganina ang value ni sum is 10. I-add na to ang 5. So mahimo na siyang 5 plus 10, mahimo na siyang 15. Okay? So 15, data is 5. Okay? And 5 is not equal to 0. Mubalik na po na siya diri pangayo. O balik na po siya og pangayo og integer value. Let's enter here. Let's enter assuming 3. So the value of data is 3. Then 3 is added to sum. So sum kaganina is 15 plus 3. It will become 18. Now 3 is not equals to 0. So it will again repeat. As long as the condition is true, it will repeat the block of statement na input na ko. Dugay kay ko nag-input no, nasuko na siya. So sabon na ko. So sabon na to 10, 5, 3. Okay. Sunod, mangayo na po na siya og input. So let's say 0. So mag-false na ang data, dili na niya balikon tong pagpangayo o integer. So that's the end of the loop. Diri na siya sa output. the sum is 18. Okay, I hope you get the flow of the program and the logic behind it. So that's our do while example. Do you have question or clarification? Again, post it in our chat box. Wala gid question by. Sige, proceed ta sa next na to nga topic. This is about for loop. I-share na pud nako ni for loop. This is our last topic for today, the for loop. So when you know exactly how many times you want to loop through a block of code, use the for loop. So aside ka ganina natay while, natay do while, so karon na napud tay for loop. So lahi lang iyahang syntax. So this one for ano iyang syntax, you have you'll have to use the for keyword, and then there are 3 statements inside the for. The first statement, that will be your initial value of the variable in your condition. Then second statement, then third statement will be the update. The second statement will be your condition, and then open curly brace and then the block of code to be executed. The statement 1 is executed one time before the execution of the code block. Statement 2 defines the condition for executing the code block. Statement 2 is the condition. Statement 3 is executed every time after the code block has been executed. This is the last after the code block. So mauna ang code block, kining code block, last ang statement 3 i-execute. Okay, so the example below will print the number, or you can just look at this example here in my shared screen. There is this for statement, and the initial value is int I equals 0, and then I is less than 5. This is the condition. These 3 statements are separated with semicolon. Ang last, wala na yung semicolon. So, first statement is your initial value. Int I equals 0. Then the condition is I is less than 5. Then I plus plus, this is the update of I. Now, we print here the value of I. So, first niyang i-print is ang value ni I, which is 0. And the condition is I is less than 5. So, if this is true, then ihang i-execute ang code block. If this is false, okay, if this is false, so exit na siya diri. Dili niya na i-execute ang nasa sulod sa for loop. So, first, let's read one by one. So, we have the I equals to 0, and 0 is less than 5. That is true. So, i-print niya ang 0. Mao ni siya ang result, 0. Then, after ani is the third statement. Mag-add siya og 1 sa I becomes 1. 0 plus 1 is 1. And I, or 1, is less than 5. This is true. So, i-print niya ang I, which is 1. So, you have here 1. Mag-update na po siya, plus 1. So, 1 plus 1 is 2. So 2 is less than 5, that is true. I-print niya ang 2. Then, I++, so 2 plus 1 is 3, and 3 is less than 5, so that is true. I-print niya ang 3. We have here 3. Then, update na po siya, plus 1 to 3. Then, 3 becomes 4. 4 is less than 5, that is true. So, 4 is printed. Okay? Add na po siya og 1. Update siya. 4 plus 1 is 5. Condition, 5 is less than 5, that is false. Wala na siya i-print. Exit na siya diri. So, ihang output is only from 0 to 4. That's our example in the for loop. So, another example. For int I is equals to 0 and I is less than or equal to 10, I equals to I plus 2. So, first condition, 0, first value of I is 0. So, 0 is less than or equal to 10, that is true. I-print niya ang 0. So, you have here value is 0. Then, update niya ang 0 plus 2, it becomes 2. And 2 is less than or equal to 10, that is true. I-print niya ang 2. So, you have here 2. So, 2, update, plus 2 equals 4. And 4 is less than or equal to 10, that is true. I-print niya ang 4. So, print 4. Next, update, 4 plus 2 is 6. And 6 is less than or equal to 10, that is true. I-print niya ang 6. And 6 plus 2 equals to 8, and 8 is less than 10, i-print niya ang 8. Next update, plus 2, I equals to 10, and 10 is less than or equal to 10. That is true because of the equal sign. Or, less than or equal to 10, that is true. So, i-print niya ang 10. Next update, 10 plus 2 is 12. So, 12 less than or equal to 10 is false. Exit na siya diri. So, that's our for loop, another for loop example. Then, we have for each loop. So, this is the for each loop, which is used exclusively to loop through elements in an array. So, for the syntax, we have the for, and then the data type, and then the name of the variable, and then the colon, and the name of the array. And there's this parenthesis closing, and then the open curly braces, and then the code block. The following example outputs all elements in the cars array using a for each loop. This one, this is a new variable declaration, no? We'll have a more detailed discussion of arrays next week. So, sa karon, kuan lang sa, initial lang sa nga example sa paggamit sa for each. Anyway, para dili kayo na information overload sa karon kay murag daghan-daghan na kayo taog gi-discuss. So, next week na lang pud nato ni siya. Okay? So, dito lang sa takutob sa for loop. Pero, maghatag pa ko og other example. Okay? Other example pag yun ta sa for loop. Let me share a new screen. Dito balik na punta sa ang online compiler. Okay, online compiler. Okay, let's have a new tab for our next example. pare-pareho lang yun ang katong mga loops, no? Ang kalahion lang sa ilaha is depende sa imuha kung unsa ang imuhang kuan gustong gamiton, mas dali para sa imuha og sabot. um, you can use while or do while or for loop. Okay, so let's have another for int count equals to 1. I hope okay pa mo dira kuan na gyud kaayo ni ato ang topic karon. Nagkaanam-anam na gyud ta og kalisod. Sayon-sayon pa ta tong permero, no? Pwede pa mag multiple choice. Karon mag focus na gyud ta sa coding. So we have here int count, initial value of count is 1, and then the condition is count is less than or equal to 5, then the update is +1 to count. So number, we print here, the code block is we will print the number string plus the value of count. So we print first number, and then first value of count is 1. Plus 1, nahimo na siya number 2. Sunod, 3, 4, and up to 5. Because 5 is less than or equals to 5. Pag mag 6 na siya, so false na ang condition, dili na siya i-appeal ang 6. Okay, let's have another example. You can actually add an if statement inside the while, inside your loops, while man na siya, do while or for loop. So we have here a new example. We are now using the final declaration. It means that the variable is constant. Okay, ang number is declared as final, so dapat dili siya mag-change. It's always 100. Other variables without final, its values are capable of changing, or we can be able to change the value of those ordinary variables. Is evenly divisible by, and then we have a for loop next. We are testing here. First, we'll give the initial value of val, and that is 1, and the condition is this, and we'll update the value by 1. Actually, no, pwede plus plus or val plus plus. Then, inside the for loop, we'll have an if. So, this is another example showing you that we can write if else statements or other control flow statements inside a loop. Pwede po, inside an if, there's another loop. So, pwede po na siya. It depends on the problem or the context of your program. So, here we are printing the value plus space if the number is or if the number divided by the value and the remainder results to 0. And then the output is the number, or 100, is evenly divisible by. Then we start with 1. This is actually, we are trying to find if the numbers from 1 to 100 are evenly divisible by the number, or if the 100 is divisible by the values from 1 to 100. So starting from 1, gina-test na to, no? Gikan sa 1 hangtod 100. Okay? Start siya 1, 'di ba? Tapos mag-end siya og 100 because of val is less than or equal to 100. So pwede na to diri ma-anticipate na ang loop magdagan siya, mag-add siya og 1, mahuman siya, ang last value niya will be 100 because 101 false na siya diri. So kuan ba, thinking ahead. So the last value of val should be 100 in order for this condition to be true. So you have here, if number is, this is our formula to find if the value from 1 to 100 is evenly divisible kung wala siya remainder, di ba? Kung ang 100 i-divide siya sa value unya wala siya remainder, meaning evenly divisible siya. Okay? So we have here mo ni atong formula to test if they are evenly divisible. If the number divided by value and the remainder is 0, then the 100 is divisible by that specific value. Kung tahay 1, kung i-divide nato ang 100 by 1, okay, sa man siya, 100 divided by 1, so 100, wala siya remainder. Tama ba? 100 divided by 1. So, wala siya remainder. So, divisible ang 100 by 1. So, we can print 1. Okay? Kaya wala man siya remainder. So, divisible siya. So, 1. I-print niya ang 1. Next, ang 2. So, ang 2, 100 divided by 2. Ang remainder is 0. So, wala siya remain or wala siya kuan. Walay bungkig. So, evenly divisible, meaning walay bungkig kung i-divide siya. So, wala siya bungkig, ato siyang i-print ang 2. Okay? Evenly divisible siya. Next, ang 3. Kung i-divide na to ang number, divided by 3, so naa siya remainder or naa siya bungkig. So, false ni siya, meaning dili na to i-print si 3 kay dili siya evenly divisible. Okay, and so on. So walay 3 diri ang 4, okay, ang 4, 5, 10, 20, 25, 50 and 100. These are the only numbers from 1 to 100 that are evenly or that are yun nga can be that are divisible sa number, sa 100. Okay. Let's proceed to our questions before we proceed to our next example. Dagan kay kog example na gi-prepare. Nga duhan pila na ka example. Apa ko itulo ka example.
Okay, hello Philippines. Itong mga kasama ko, hindi sila nakakaintindi ng Tagalog at akala nila
So, next example na to will be the use of the nested loops. Kung naatay ginatawag na nested if, naputay nested loop. Okay, so meaning na ay loop inside the loop. So I'm gonna show, I'll edit this one and I'll show you. This one is int limit equals to 50, and then we have int number and variable. Then we'll have a for loop, number equals to 1 and number is less than or equal to limit, then plus number. Okay, then we print here plus is mao naman dito itong example ka ganina. Mao man ang na example ganina na.
What is that, Ben? Kanina to? Ay, hindi ko titignan.
Lahi po niya siya.
Simple screenshot is pretty easy. Just press the combination of buttons simultaneously, and it is done.
Space and then end semicolon, then another loop here,
Never displaying on the screen.
less than or equal to number, plus var if number is percent var equals to 0. Then we print next var plus space, and we print the number and two spaces here, two spaces. And then we print a
Tap on your device from the Play Store. The link is in the description below.
new line. Okay, so what's the difference of this one to our previous example kanina? So kanin siya kaganina kini mao ni siya atong gitest ang 1 to 100 if it's a valid number that 100 can be evenly divisible by these numbers. So 100 lang siya. In this one, dili lang kay 100. Gikan sa 1 to 50. Pangitaon nato ang ilahang divisible. Okay? So, let's see the example or the output. Kanin siya. Kaganina, diri ra to. 100 is evenly divisible by, okay, 100 lang to siya. Kinigikan gud sa 1. Ipangita nato ilahang divisibility. 1 is evenly divisible by 1. 2 is evenly divisible by 1 and 2, and so on. Hantod siya 50 lang. 50 lang siya. Because the limit is 50. Let's change this to 100. If we change it to 100, from 1 to 100 pud ni siya. Okay? So this is an example of a nested loop. We loop from 1 to 100 here. We loop from 1 to 100, and then inside that, and for each number, pangita nato ang iyahang evenly divisible numbers. So kung tayo sa number 1, unsa man ang mga numbers that this number is evenly divisible by. So iyang pangita diri. Sunod, mag number 2 na pud siya. Pangitaon na pud niya tong mga numbers from 1 to 2. Okay? From 1 to 2, unsa tong mga evenly divisible. Pag number 3 na siya, unsa na pud tong from 1 to 3 ang evenly divisible by this number, and so on. So that's an example of a nested loop, a loop inside the loop. As you can see here, there's a loop and then another loop inside the loop. Next, let's have the break and continue example. Let's have a new example. Int sum is equals to 0 and number here we print the sum and the number. So before this, I will present another one. Let me show you another. Before our example, again, I'm going to show you another window. This is the the break discussion on the break and continue. So the break statement, we've already used this in the switch statement. It is used to jump out of a switch statement. The break statement can also be used to jump out of a loop, meaning to jump out, that is to exit the loop. If you want, if you have a condition that you want to use to exit the loop, then that is possible. This example jumps out of the loop when I is equal to 4. Example, I is 0 and I is less than 10, I plus plus. Now, the condition here to exit the loop is if the I is equals to 4. So, from 0 man ni siya, hantud ni siya 9 because 9 is less than 10. Hantud siya 9. The possible or the maximum value of I here is 9, which can be which is less than 10. So I at least is 0 and 9 is at most the value of I. And so if ang condition nato is pag moabot na gani og 4 ang I, then we will exit the loop. So here, ang result niya is kutob lang siya 0, 1, 2, and 3. Kaya pag mag 4 na, mo-exit na siya sa loop. So that's an example of the break statement. Next, we also have the continue. So kabaliktaran sa break, continue siya, meaning i-continue niya. Mag-stop lang siya kadali and then iyahang i-continue. So statement, it breaks one iteration. So mag-exit lang siya kaisa. Okay? Mag-break siya. Mag-break siya kaisa. Pero magbalik lang gihapon sila. Ana siya. if a specified condition occurs and continues with the next iteration in the loop. This example skips the value of 4. So, naa lang siya i-skip. Murag mag-skip lang siya kaisa, pero mubalik lang gihapon siya sa loop. Let's have an example. Diri kaganina break to siya, 'di ba? Karon gamitan nato siya og continue. So, ang condition niya is if I is 4, skip niya ang 4. And then mo continue lang gihapon siyang balik. So, ang mahitabo, pareha man ni kaganina 0 to 9, pag maabot siya sa 4, skip niya ang 4. So, as you can see, the result is 0, 1, 2, 3. Ang 4, wala na niya gi-print ang 4. Pero, mubalik gihapon siya. Continue lang gihapon siya sa loop. So, proceed siya sa next. After 4 is 5, 6, 7, 8, hantod sa 9. So, that's our example for the break and continue. And then, we also have another example for break and continue in while loop. So, daghan-daghan jud kaya itong topic karon no? Nagkaanam-anam na gyud ta og ka topic ani. Wala na gyud tay games diri ang dapita. So, di na gyud kaya ma-insert. I hope na makaya pa ma-insert sa ato ang braining kadaghan information overload. Next break and continue. So, this one, kaganina example is sa for loop. Diri ang example nato is sa while loop. Pero parihara good ni siya kanina. Ang nalahi lang is kining gigamit nato nga loop. Okay? So, the same lang ni siya. Ang I, nagsugod og 0, mag-end siya og 9, kay 9 is less than 10. So, i-print niya ang I, and then mag-update siya og 1 sa I, and then pag mag-4 na gani ang I, mo-exit na siya sa loop. So, pag moabot siya og 3, or moabot na siya og 4, stop na siya. Totally stop na ang iyahang looping. Then, continue. The same lang ni siya kaganina, pero while loop lang ang gigamit dali. So, I is 0. So, mag-start ang value sa I to 0, and then mag-end siya og 9. Now, if the condition is, if I is 4, then, if I is 4, then mag-continue siya. Okay? Meaning, skip niya. Pero, mag-add gihapon siya og 1 para after 4, mag-next siya is 5 na. Okay? So, 5 here, mo-continue lang gihapon siya pag abot na sa 5. Pero pag 4 siya, skip lang na niya. Skip lang ni niya. Pag the value of I is 4, skip na siya ang code block within the loop. So, the same output, 0, 1, 2, 3, and then, skip niya ang 4, and then 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, continue siya. So, I guess that's our that's our last topic. So, now I'm opening here. I'm now open for your questions. Okay, so I think mauna to siya. I will send the examples, no, na wala pa na ako na send. The example codes. So, kamusta man mo dira? Okay pa? Okay pa mo? So, how was it? How was our
Okay, ma'am.
topic?
Okay ra gyapon.
Okay ra gihapon.
Hinga po, ma'am.
Okay, kagwan.
Habang tumatagal ang
Ka-
maganda.
Kaya pa.
Kaya nun.
Kaya nun, sure.
Be.
Nahilo man na. Una kasama kayo.
Sir, how to be you? How to be you po ang inyong question?
Alet ko. Sanda ko 1 to 3. Ang una ni 1, sanda ko 1 to 3.
You mean, how do I know how to program? So, kung ano, practice lang na siya, guys. Practice. Pag naam gud tay mga butang na mga gustong buhaton jud, pag gusto gid interested ta, no? Makuha gid na siya nato. Pag kung unsa inyong talent, guys, mag-focus jud mo didto. Dapat kabalo mo unsang asa ang inyong strength. Didto mo mag-focus kay muhawd gid mo diraa.
Ate, mag-finance ka lang gano'n pa ni gano'n.
Pero una-una po ninyo kung unsa ang inyong interest kanang katabang pud sa inyong kinabuhi nga mag-improve pod mo basin og kanang inyong interest kay kuan lang pod. Anyway, depende man na siya.
Wala kang mga country na.
Okay, very good. Na question si Crystal. Example, decreasing. Okay, let's create an example very quick. Ano sa ganini ako ang gi-share?
Ako nagtulad ako kuan kani. Kani sa dat ni. Ako nagtulad ako.
Baliktaron nato ang ato ang kuan initial value kung decreasing. Tama, ang ato ang example kaganina is increasing, no, from 0 to 9 or what? 0, 1 to 100. Baliktaron lang nato ang initial value niya. So for example, ang atong condition ganina for increasing manino, int I equals to 0, I is less than, let's say 10 or 100. Sige, 100 dun nato na siya. Hantod 100, so equals 100. Kung 99 lang kutob, less than 100. Okay, kung gusto na to, kutob 100. Then, I++. Okay, then we print. Increasing man ni siya. From 0, mag-start siya. Then, mag-end siya og 100. I-print na to ang I. Print ln. Zero, magsugod siya og 0. Okay, because our initial value is 0. And then, we end at 100. Kung less than 100, kutob lang na siya og 99. Okay. Kung gusto ka magsugod, di ko gusto magsugod og 0, ma'am. Gusto ko magsugod og 5. Pwede magsugod ta og 5. Initial value nimo is 5. Asan na to? Okay, 5. Initial value of I is 5. So, mag-start po na siya. 5. So, gusto na ako, ma'am, 5, 10, 15. Ana. So, ang imuhang change is diri. Now, what if decreasing? So, ang una is 100. So, dapat mauna diri 100, diba? Okay. Atong paggamayon para gamay lang ang output. Sugod ta sa 1 to 10. Para makita na to ang difference sa duha. So, ang first na for loop is 1 to 10. Ang ikaduha nga for loop is baliktad. Okay? So, magsugod ta diri og 10. 'Di ba? So, what's our condition diri Unsa ang last value? Dapat 1. So, unsa ang condition para unsa man ni? Ano man ni 1 man ni? So, unsa ato ang condition diri para mag-end siya og 1. So, dapat ang condition nato kay 10 man ni, it should be unsa man? Greater than
Greater than or equal, ma'am.
greater than or equal
Or
to
equal.
mag-end siya
One.
og 1. So, magsugod siya og 10, mag-end siya og 1. Unya kay greater than man ang 10, mas dako man siya sa last value nato. So, greater than or equal to 1. So, mag-start siya og 10, mag-end siya og 1. And then, ang update niya, kay dapat, mag-minus 1 siya, di ba? So, minus-minus na ni. Para ang 10, mahimog 9. Niya ang 9, mahimog 8. Niya ang 8, mahimog 7. And so on. Hantod maabot siya og 1. So, ang update niya is minus 1. So, I minus minus. Okay? So, the first loop will print 1 to 10. The second loop will print from 10 down to 1. Okay? So, ano siya? 1 to 10, then 10 to 1. Now, what if one line lang na sila? One line lang. So, dili ka mag-print og ln. Okay? Space lang ang kuan nila, separator. Tapos, diri pod. Space lang pod ta diri. Okay? So, dili na siya mag-next line. Space lang ang ilahang separator diri. 1 to 1, 1 to 10, and then 10 to 9. So, diri before ka mag 10 to 9, mag-print ka og new line. Mao man ni ang 10 to 9, so mag-print ka diri og new line.
Minus.
Okay. So, you have there 1 to 10 and 10 to 1.
Minus 200. Taralit.
Practice bitaw. Practice pag naa kay kuan, pag naay lisod na mga kuan god, mga butang sa tong kinabuhi. Pag perminti nato na siya atubangon, for example, kung naay problema, kung atubangon nato na sila, so mahawd gyud ta na. Nagani to'y quote si Einstein.
Thank you po, ma'am.
Diba? Nato'y quote si Einstein na sa to yung quote na ano daw, dili daw siya smart, pero kuan lang gyud siya, kanang persistent siya and perminti niya atubangon ang iyahang problema. Mo nang ma-solve niya ang iyahang kung unsa man ang mga kinahanglang i-solve. Patience is the virtue. Patience and
Yes po, ma'am.
support, help and support, of course. Okay, unsa pa man. And of course, you need to be willing to be willing nga matudluan, willing nga mag-fail, or kana bang pwede ra nga na ay mistake and then learn from your mistake. Charot. Unsa naman ni? Sugod, asa pa man? Gamay na lang nabilin jud. So basig naamoy mga problem dito sa inyo ang task nga murag wala kayo nako siya na nahatagan og example, no? So pwede ra ko ninyo i-chat, ma'am, taga igud mig clue ani or example. Pero dili gyud answer akong ihatag ha. Same lang, same example. Pero I think we've already covered. Do you have other additional question? Wala na ko'y wala na ko'y programming challenge kay challenge na to kayo inyong task.
Uyan may taloy.
Itong inyong self-check and programming tasks. Mao na to inyong atubangon. I think we're all set, guys. Wala na may question. Kung basig unya pa siya mugawas pag magkuan na mo, pag mag-program na mo. So, this is the end of our meeting for today. I hope you're all safe right now and healthy. Stay healthy, guys, and we will see you again next meeting next week, Friday. No? Tama ba?
Ito, ma'am.
Oo. Friday again. I hope to see you next Friday. Okay, so this is this is the yes. So that's it. Thank you, guys. Thank you for attending. I hope you've learned something from our meeting today.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, thank you for your time and
Yeah, ma'am.
for listening and for interacting as well. Okay, kung wala na may concern, you can leave the meeting na. Bye-bye, guys. See you Friday next week.
Bye, ma'am.
Bye.
Thank you, ma'am.